Alright guys, so this fanfiction idea has been one I've been wanting to do for a long time. One of my favorite Godzilla comics, one of my favorite pieces of Godzilla content ever, or media ever, Godzilla the Half-Century War, in the second chapter had arguably something I would love to see continued. I would love to see James Stokoe continue this comic as like its own series. And that was a chapter where Godzilla wandered into the Vietnam War during the 1960s and did battle with Anguirus, like a new version of Godzilla Raids Again. So we're kind of taking the idea of that chapter of Godzilla the Half-Century War and making like a whole story out of it for this one. So yeah, hope you all enjoy. So the story begins. The Vietnam War has been going on for a little while now. For those who don't know, it didn't start in the 60s. It kind of already started in the late 50s, kind of went from there. So the war has been going on for some time, and it has been rough for a lot of soldiers. But the one thing is that the Japanese government has been warning the U.S. for a while is that, look, we don't know what to tell you. Your Navy and this conflict is very close to, territory that's known for monsters. Now, keep in mind, by this point, it's 1964. Godzilla has been around for 10 years in this continuity. And among that, other monsters that have shown up other monsters have appeared as well. Obviously, Anguirus came next, then Rodan, followed by Varen, then Mothra, and also Manda. So 6 monsters are currently, and also Maguma from Gorath. So there are 7 monsters in the world, and currently in this time period, and everyone like during the war, because no one's really experienced a war in the world of giant monsters. No, like the last war, like the Korean War, missed that at the last second. Like, yeah, the Korean War didn't get to see the first Godzilla come out of the ocean, and there hasn't been a major global conflict like Vietnam, and also dealing with giant monsters. So the U.S. Navy really has to be careful when it's in those waters, and also in this continuity, Godzilla and the U.S. have done battle. Like during some excursion, some Navy training missions out in the Pacific Ocean, they've been attacked and several ships have been destroyed by Godzilla. Now, keep in mind, there's no Mecha Godzilla here. There's no Jet Jaguar here. This is the mankind is really still trying to mentally grasp that it's not just Godzilla, out in the world. It's now a world that belongs to literal gods now. Like, gods walk among us. And now there's this war going on between Vietnam and the U.S. And the war, so far, while there has been sightings of Godzilla, out in the ocean, there hasn't been, it's been kind of well noted that Godzilla hasn't made landfall in Vietnam or any other theaters of war during the Vietnam War, nor has he attacked any Navy ships. It's kind of reasoned, and the other thing is that in here, the U.S. military is taking a lot of notes and have the Japanese government on as liaisons in case, Godzilla does flip his shit on them. And they're just like, look, it's probably because you're not directly in his territory and he doesn't see you as a threat. Don't fire on him, and he won't kill you all. And they're just like, well, why don't you just build us another oxygen destroyer, and we can deal with this Godzilla. We can kill it like the one from '54. And Japan's like, look, dude, I don't know what to tell you, but Dr. Serizawa is dead. He died and took the secrets of the oxygen destroyer with him. And they're like, well, why can't you just nuke him again? Well, there's stronger nukes. And they're like, fucking no! No, we're not doing that. No. You're just gonna have to, and this is what would probably be what it is that, and they've kind of touched on it in some Godzilla movies, especially Shin, where and also in Godzilla 1984, where the U.S. were like, yeah, we want to, low-key can't accept that Godzilla is more powerful than the U.S. So we're gonna nuke him. Also, not just to say freedom for whoever, but also like, yeah, we're gonna nuke this lizard to see how strong our bombs are now. And and Japan is advising them, you don't know what that could entail. For all you know, that could make him stronger. Like that could even there's a good chance that he could survive a blast. In fact, we've kind of crunched the numbers. We are pretty goddamn sure that Godzilla could do that. So, yeah, the U.S. military is just steering out of Godzilla's way, and for so far in this theater of war, Godzilla's only been spotted, like out in the sea, and the U.S. Navy's just like, stay out of his way, but keep an eye on him. It isn't until one day off the Vietnamese peninsula in the northern part that Godzilla officially makes landfall and proceeds to move his way further south. Like he went up north, like close to the Vietnamese-Chinese border, and is now coming down. And on one hand, the U.S. Army is like, yeah, we're gonna the Viet Cong are getting chased out and destroyed by Godzilla's chaos. But it's also causing a bit of problems too, tactically, because not only is Godzilla killing a lot of Viet Cong and anything that gets in his way, it's kind of scaring them further south and in mass. Like it's scaring Viet Cong troops in mass into where U.S. forces are, and they're not prepared for this sudden wave of attacks. Not to mention, Godzilla's just kind of moseying through, and nothing can stop him. Like U.S. and Viet Cong forces separately are trying to fight Godzilla, but there's literally nothing they can do. And now the U.S. military is like, well, what the fuck do we do now? Because we weren't prepared for we weren't really ready for Godzilla attacking us directly. So they try everything. Napalm bombs, rockets, everything. And at one point, the military's like, well, yeah, we could probably kill Godzilla. Our tech's a lot stronger than what they had in Japan at the time. Yeah, we could do it. They can't. In fact, the various forces get humbled by Godzilla as he's just destroying everything in his path. And the other thing is that now there are reports of another kaiju that's coming up from that's flying up from the lower peninsula and coming towards Godzilla, and that monster is Varan. So they're like, what the fuck is going on? Godzilla's one thing, but why would he come down here? Not to mention, why the fuck is that one coming? Why the fuck is Varan coming? So Godzilla and Varan battle in Saigon. It's a full-on, just absolute bloody fight between Godzilla and Varan in the battle of in Saigon, and they are just destroying everything. U.S. forces and refugees are fleeing. That was the other thing that was coming down in mass, were Vietnamese villagers who were not part of this conflict that Godzilla was driving out as he was making his way down. Keep in mind also, Godzilla's highly irradiated, so he's just irradiating these villages that are left behind and killing millions in his wake. So, getting back on topic, Godzilla and Varan are doing battle. Eventually, Godzilla does chase him off, but he's not interested in leaving. What he does is just make a loop and go back up north. And they're like, well, what the fuck is he doing now? And that's what really bothers the generals of the U.S. military, is that watching Godzilla as he's just kind of he can't be controlled. He can't be diverted. They've tried everything to get him at least back in the ocean, but they can't. So they are like, well, he's obviously on a. They get the Japanese government back online. They're like, he's probably looking for something. And they're like, he can't be looking for something. He's a dumb lizard. And they're like, now you know what we thought. It's not fun, is it? It's not fun trying to, figure this fucker out, is it? So a special squad is put in charge of, following Godzilla as he heads up to northern Vietnamese territory. And it's like scary as shit because there's still a lot of Viet Cong presence in the area. So the squad is following Godzilla as he's still like blasting anyone who dares to attack him. But he is on. It's noted that he is on a straight up mission to figure out to find something, and that something is a Russian built sonic emitter that was stolen from a research lab in Japan that was used to like try to use sonic devices to drive monsters away. But now they're summoning monsters, and the next monster that comes in is Rodan and Manda. So Godzilla does battle with Rodan and Manda at the same time, and the reason why they can't... The problem is they tried to call Godzilla and control him through these sonic emitters, but the thing is Godzilla just couldn't be controlled by him. They could easily summon and control the other monsters, but the only two they couldn't get were Mothra and Godzilla. So the squad just gets in, they take out the Russian presence in the area, and proceed to destroy the emitter, while Godzilla defeats Manda and Rodan, driving them off, leading to Godzilla going back into the sea. By the end of it, the war has gone so fucking sideways because of Godzilla's intervention, and also basically now 40% of the country is now irradiated from Godzilla's bio radiation, that the war has become incredibly toxic, and the U.S. has to leave sooner than the 1975 pullout. Was it 75? I can't remember if it was 74 or 75. That's not the point. But yeah, the war ends even faster because of Godzilla's indirect just interruption. This also leads to, on a sad note, that the Russians can, Russian forces can now come in. Russian and Chinese communist forces start coming in to take control of the area because there's no U.S. Force there, and there was no treaty signed. So there you go, guys. That is Godzilla the Nam. That was kind of a loose idea I had. Just wanted to throw that out there. You guys let me know in the comments below. What did you guys think of it? Comment below. Let me know. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.